Hi, I'm Pattu from freefincal, and this week let's look at DSP Small Cap Fund. As many of you know, this was called DSP Micro Cap Fund. It was launched in June 2007, and when the markets recovered in 2014, there was a huge uptick in this fund's NAV, and many people flocked to this fund. And the fund closed operations when its AUM hit 5,000 crores, and it has recently reopened investments, fresh investments via STP and SIP, and the existing investors are worried because the fund has not been performing for the last 3 years. So I had last reviewed this fund in August 2017, and then some of my friends asked me to look at it again, so I thought I will. Like I said, this week we have been looking at small cap funds a lot. We first started with why a small cap fund should beat a mid cap index, and then I listed 6 consistent small cap mutual fund performers. This is one of them. And like I said, in 2014, when the market moved up, this fund returned 102%. That's the kind of thing that attracts naive investors. They don't understand the risks, and they get in and suffer. So it was having an AUM of about 2,200 crores in January 2016, and it more than doubled. It became 5,000 crores in just a year, or a little bit less than a year often. But the return itself was only 12%. So much of it was inflows, and because of that, the AMC decided to stop fresh investments in February 2017, and they have only recently reopened SIP and STP investments. So the problem that many people feel about this fund, it was once a 5-star fund, now it is a 3-star fund. The problem many people feel is that compared to other funds like HDFC Small Cap, Axis Small Cap, which many people have taken a liking to recently because it has fallen less, they feel that the performance here has slipped. And the one thing that I wish to say is that this fund has been a small cap fund throughout its history. Earlier, it had a mandate to invest beyond the top 300 stocks by free float market capitalization. That was actually diluted a little bit by the SEBI regulations, so it could invest in stocks beyond top 250. But it has always been having more than 70% of small caps typically throughout, at least in the fact sheets that I have studied. Whereas if you look at HDFC Small Cap, Axis Small Cap, even Franklin Small Cap, currently they are holding a little bit more more of mid caps. They are having less of small caps than the SEBI stipulated limit of 65%. So that is, you can argue that is good for the investors, or one can argue that DSP Small Cap is a true blue small cap fund, and it is wrong to compare it with other funds which do this kind of a change. Also, in this space, it's a very new space. There are like 12-13 funds in this space, and other than DSP Small Cap and Franklin smaller companies, none of them have, or I would say DSP Small Cap is the only proper small cap fund since inception in this space. The others were all more or less mid cap, small cap kind of combinations, and they're tending towards becoming small cap now. And from that point of view, I think it's unfair to criticize DSP Small Cap for the recent poor performance, because the small cap index has not performed well. That being said, I have shown in this video, in this article, detailed tabular comparison of how it has done in the recent past. But now I will show you its performance. So this is over 10 years. There's no problem. Over 10 years, the DSP Small Cap Fund, which towers over every other, all other indices, the Nifty Small Cap, the Nifty Next 50, the Nifty Small Cap 250, and the Nifty Mid Cap 50. The DSP Small Cap has done extremely well over a 10-year period. It has also done well over a 5-year period, looking at the rolling returns. Of course, you can see the dip in performance here, and it looks terrible over the 3-year periods, because it has done reasonably well in the past, but it has kind of come down mid 2017, late 2017 rather. It has more or less behaved like a small cap index in the last 3 years or so. But does this mean, is this cause for concern? Yes and no. But I will argue that DSP Small Cap has been a true blue small cap fund, and therefore you should not compare it with other funds like HDFC or Axis Small Cap, which have been able to uh, uh, adapt by having a mid cap, small cap history. They've been able to adapt. Axis Small Cap is relatively new, I think. Although this fund space itself is kind of new, and things can change quite fast. And I mean, generally I don't prefer investments in small caps, but if you are holding DSP Micro Cap or DSP Small Cap, you can probably give it a little more time and check. And I think if the market recovers, it should probably do well. The last 1 year, DSP Small Cap has done well. It has bet the small cap index. So in that sense, there is hope. And I believe existing investors can give this fund a little more time, check if they are happy, and do it. But however, if you are investing in small caps, please book profits from time to time. Otherwise, you will feel book profits not to fixed income. You can book it to large cap or mid cap, however way you want. I have talked about that recently. So I think you should consider doing that. New investors should invest only if they understand risks.